Hi, this is Vallisa from Lyca Radio, and today we are here with Anisa Karolia, who is or just released her brand new cookbook called the Ramadan Cookbook, of course with Ramadan just around the corner. Now you are a complete foodie, you've got your own YouTube channel. Have you always loved cooking?
Absolutely. From, I think, as far as I can remember, Vallisa, I must have been about 9 years old, and my family is I come from a household of foodies, you see. So my mum was always cooking something, she's always baking something. My summer holidays were always spent with my grandmother. So I'd be in there, what are you doing? And I'd be just getting in there, stirring the pot. Oh, what can I add in there? And it was nice because they allowed me to do it as well. And they allowed me to also make that mess. So I think it was probably from there, yeah. And it just kind of carried on.
And then you started your YouTube channel after the birth of your third child?
Yes.
How did that come about? Tell us a little bit about it.
Honestly, I honestly didn't know where I was going. So I just started putting pictures up and sharing them of my home cooked food. And then I had my school friend said, why don't you share your recipes on YouTube? And I'm like, YouTube? What's that? Like, not me, because I'm not very confident. I'm like, I can't do that. And she said, honestly, you'll be teaching so many people. It's like on the World Wide Web. So why don't you do that? So I think I spoke to my husband and I said, my friend's saying this, what do you think? And he's like, brilliant, let's go for it. So I think, I'm glad, Adam was there, my husband, he's supporting me all throughout my journey up to now, everything. And it's just slowly, I wouldn't even look at my earlier videos, honestly, but he said they're really cringy. They've just got like text or just pictures, and then I started, I think, probably getting a bit more confident, putting myself on there, and I've had lots of feedback from people, and I started, I would say, Ramadan recipes, and I think that's probably where I'm known, because at the time there wasn't Ramadan recipes around, so I think people know me for that. And I started mixing up with my Indian style of cooking, some traditional, old style, childhood, whatever I learned from my mum and grandmother. And everyone, people are like, oh, my mum used to make this, or my grandma used to make this, and she's not around anymore. So, I feel like, I really feel like making this, so I'm so glad you shared it. So it's really nice.
So they can really relate to what you're cooking.
Absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
Which is quite interesting actually, because I always say, like, there's this one recipe, I don't even know what it's called. My nan used to make it all the time.
Yeah.
The only other people that can make it is my mum's aunt.
Right.
And I keep saying, one day I need to write this down, because when they're gone, because my nan's not around anymore, I'm like, who's going to cook it for me? And I can't cook, so I don't know who's going to cook it. So this is actually a really nice tribute for your own kids as well in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it just, like you say, the recipes do relate to a lot of people, and I think it brings back memories of, for themselves as well, that, oh, when I was little I had this, or I had this fried snack. We make samosas like this, so it was really lovely, and I think that's how my journey kind of just carried on, and here we are.
And was it your poor husband that had to film everything behind the scenes for you?
Yes, my husband has done all the editing and all this. We've had lots of tears and lots of, like maybe some fights as well behind which of course we edit them, but yeah, it's all part of the journey.
Of course it is. And how important do you think it is to cook healthy home cooking?
Yeah, I have definitely seen a shift in how people are cooking, and now it's more like, even a Ramadan is normally you'd see on our iftar table fried savoury snacks, samosas, spring rolls, pastries. There are kind of staple foods, and people are now using like air fryers, probably even in the oven, just spray a bit of oil. So even myself, we have changed and tried to introduce some healthy food as well. So we have watermelons, coconut water, great for hydration, and trying not to add a lot of sort of mixing it up with not every day. We don't have curries and things like that, because my children, they also like grilled foods. They love Turkish food. They like Indo-Chinese as well, some pasta, lasagna. So there's a variety of food, and mix it up.
And as you said, things like air fryers have now come about, which weren't there, say, even 10 years ago.
That's right.
So that's changed how people sort of cook, because they can prepare in advance put it away. Kids can even now get stuff out and put it into the air fryer, and it makes it a lot easier.
Yes, so they can do, like I've got 3 children, so they'll be like, oh mum, can I pop these pastries, and I've not that I always have them stored, because they're always finished. So I've not even started my Ramadan preparations, because we normally prepare our savouries like a few weeks beforehand, just to make life easier in Ramadan. And then we have most households will have another freezer, and they'll be like stocked up with like all the savoury foods. So then it just gives us time in Ramadan to sort of prepare our main meals and make a dessert as well. So it's like a 3-course meal.
Your food must be good if it's always out of stock in your freezer.
Yes, it is, definitely. There's nothing there. So I'm going to have to start actually making some. Yeah, definitely.
And you share everything from tandoori masala leg of lamb to cheesy peri chicken bread rolls, which I didn't even know what that was. I was like, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
How do you come up with all these recipes?
I think it's just like I've got that's a different version of it. So that was my recent one, and the first one I did was just a few spices in there, and I thought, oh, hang on, I've got peri spice in there. Let me just use that up. And I know people are a fan of peri chicken, and that the spice is obviously versatile. It's not just for like chicken or anything like that. You can add it into you can make peri samosas, spring rolls, and and my children inspire me as well. Actually, they what they do is they see maybe videos, and they'd be like, oh mom, make this, and I'd be like, oh, actually that's quite nice. So then I kind of tweak it, and I change things around and make it my own. Yes.
And coming, of course, to your cookbook, tell us a little bit about this journey and what made you decide to bring out a cookbook.
I've always wanted to have a cookbook, honestly, for a long time. I just didn't know how to go about it. And everybody would be like, have you got a cookbook? You should have a cookbook. And I'm like, I'm not sure, will people read it, or will they go? I personally like books. I love reading recipe books. And I think that's because my mom has a lot of recipe books from when I was with her. And she'd say, have a recipe book of your own, write it down, everything what you see me doing, and then write the date. So it's like a diary for me, and it's just really lovely because I'll put down mum's recipe. And I think it's nice for people to also have a recipe book that they can flick through. And also when you're online, I know I share recipes online, but people can ask me, okay, you said this, what do I do next, or I didn't quite understand that. So it's quite brief, not all details online, but with a book you've got
everything.
I've got, because you kind of, they can't ask you anything, so you kind of sit down and you write everything down, and it's all clear for everyone. And it's lovely because it has this at the back of the book as well, there's a part where they can share their own recipes and write down their own most loved or childhood recipes as well,
which is really nice, so they can keep it.
Yeah, so they've got it in one place.
Now, although Ramadan is all about fasting, food actually plays a very important part in this.
Yes.
And during Ramadan, as you know, eating the right foods is also very important because you're obviously fasting for such a long time. So how would you prepare for this?
So we start pre-dawn, have a breakfast. Normally at that time, so we can't really eat much. It's so early in the morning. So we would just start with something that's going to, of course, keep us full. Now that would normally be like a porridge, smoothie, banana dates is really good as well. It's got all the minerals and vitamins and minerals in there. Banana shakes. So I've got a recipe in the book for that as well. Omelettes, eggs, and my children sometimes wake up as well and fast if they want to, because they don't have to. It's not obligatory at the moment for them. But when they do want to, the weekends are perfect for them to try because they're at school during the weekday. And then it's lots of we have, of course, we try and have some water in the morning. We only eat what we can sort of fill our stomach, and then during the day we go about our normal day. And I think what happens the first few days, you can feel a little bit lethargic, and then we kind of we get on with our chores, and we get busy in the kitchen, preparing stuff, and then by the time you know it, that we're going to have good food at the end of the day.
Of course.
So we look forward to that and having everyone around the table.
And tell us a little bit about the recipes within the book, because you've got things from breakfast all the way to what you would
Yes.
eat for iftar. So tell us a few of the recipes that are in there.
Yeah, so we've got the chapters in there. We've got your suhoor, which is our pre-dawn breakfast. So there's some lovely recipes in there. Very simple. I like to keep my recipes quite easy for people to try. At that time, you don't really want to spend so long at that time. So there is like some caramelized bananas on toast. There's a folded omelette. There's also some recipes so that will keep people going for iftar as well. So there's some main meals like chicken curry. Then there's also fusion dishes which have become very popular. So we have like stir fries. There's some like saucy chicken served with some wedges of chips. Then there's also chicken chow mein, which is very popular. And then we've got some, of course, the starters. We don't really want to miss out on those. So I'd love to put, I could have put loads of recipes in there, but we've still got 80 recipes in there, which is fantastic, There's samosas, of course. There's also some vegetarian ones, potato and sweet corn tortilla ones, which are really easy because they're easier than the traditional ones. And then we've got some chicken piccalilli squares, which are my personal favourite. And then we've got the bread rolls as well, chicken and cheese bread rolls, jalapeno and chicken samosas. So there's a variety you can see. And then I like my desserts in Ramadan to be quite light, and so I've kept them like the creamy, milky. So I've got the faluda in there, the roast faluda, which is quite luxurious, but it's quite cooling as well.
Yeah.
So we normally have that on our iftar too. It looks beautiful as well, and it tastes really good. It tastes even better when you boil the milk. It just gives you that creamy flavour. Then we have mango faluda, which is really, really tasty, and it looks really nice too. And then we've got the salads, the little condiments kind of thing, dips to go with it, some mocktails, mojitos. So I've covered everything.
You said everything. All 80 recipes right there.
Exactly.
So out of those, which would you say is one of your favourites?
Oh, I would say all of them, of course, honestly. I think it would have to be butter chicken. It's something we all love. I know everyone's going to finish it with naan or basmati rice. It's just it's just a very special dish. It's comforting, but even if you have guests around, they'll love it. You know that they will love it, and really creamy. Did you just say one? Is it just one?
No, you can pick as many as you like.
There's also lamb curry naan gosh, which is quite a speciality dish, but it's nice when you've got like family around, especially for Eid. It's something that we would make. Lamb biryani is amazing, and also rose milk cake, which is just so good. Honestly, you've got to try it.
I'm definitely going to try it. Once I've got that cookbook, I'm going to see what I can make. I'll let you know.
Nice. Yeah.
And you said there's 80 recipes in there, so we're looking forward to the next 80 next Ramadan as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'd love to.
Now, for someone like me who literally cannot cook, how easy is it to follow your recipes in the book?
Yeah. So I've always made it my mission that I want to keep recipes simple. So you have those ingredients in your cupboards or your pantry. I don't want people to feel, oh, I don't have that, then they feel put off and they don't want to make it. Because I personally, even for myself, when I look at recipes, I like to look at recipes that are easy to follow. It's not time consuming. That I'm so, who's got time? So I want people to not feel intimidated. So I have made it my mission that I want everybody to try, not to give up. And I would say try it, see how you get on, and I'm sure you'll get there. So even if somebody who feels like, oh, I'm not confident enough, give it a go once and just try with a simple recipe, and you'll be fine.
And Ramadan is, of course, all about family as well, eating with the family, but also
100%, yeah.
cooking with the family. So do your kids get involved with helping you?
Yes, they have. So my daughter's 16, so she's like the lead in the kitchen, and I've got two sons, 11 and 13. So they'll be like if I say minions. So they'll be like, they'll chop the vegetables, or Sarah will obviously be around the cutting the onions and by the cooker. So they're really into it, and it's nice because my mom did the same with me and my brother. So it's nice to also have my children in the kitchen, and I think it's a life skill as well, so they can take this with them, and also for their future, it'll be really, really helpful.
And you have over 137,000 subscribers on YouTube. How does it feel to know that you inspire that many people and you inspire that many women as well?
I can't describe the feeling. It's because I didn't know where I was going with this journey of mine, and to know that I have, even if it's one person that's taken away from this, I've done my job, But yeah, having people send me, on my Instagram, sending me pictures, sending me messages, saying my 12-year-old has made this, or my husband's made this, or, my sister's done this, and she's only like 14, 15, people who go to like university students, newlyweds as well. So I think I feel like I'm glad that I've been part of them, and I've helped them with their cooking journey.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on Lyca Radio, and we wish you all the best for Ramadan, the cookbook of course releasing as well. Could you just let us know where people can buy the cookbook?
Yes, there are available on Amazon, and they're also available in supermarkets as well, like Sainsbury's, and also soon in Asda too.
So literally when they're out doing their shopping for Ramadan, they can pick up the cookbook and then make the recipes.
Exactly, and it won't be hard to find because they'll be in the Ramadan section.
Amazing. Thank you so much.